What up, my people? Welcome to an introduction to programming with Rust. I'm Joe. This is we're getting toward the end here. Today we're going to be covering some more conditional logic loops. We're going to be looking at regular loops like loop loops and while loops, and then we'll touch on and maybe go over, depending on time, the most common type of loop in Rust, which will be for loops. Before we get into that, I just wanted to show you a little something here on GitHub. This is a cool little page called Osimo. I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. Likio Gaimfari. I have no idea. He's in Russia. But he keeps a pretty cool, I don't know what you would call it. Like he curates like this list of cool open source projects in different languages, and I wanted to show you the Rust one. There's me. I've contributed a few of these and kind of worked on keeping this cleaned up a little bit here. So these are all projects that have, that are in active development, that are open source. You can find on GitHub, and you can go to and dig through the code. You can use the programs. You can contribute to them if you want to. I don't like Alacrity. I cannot get that to work very well, I get all kinds of buffer overflows when I run it. But yeah, there's some good ones in here. There's some cool ones. So it's a cool thing to check out. If you're interested in other languages, there's a whole list here of different programs in all the different languages. So it's a pretty cool page. Just thought I'd show you that. Let's get into loops. The first loop we're going to look at, so I guess what loops are, it's a type of conditional logic. It's a chunk of code that keeps repeating over and over and over until something that the programmer gives it specifies it to stop. So the different types of loops, loop loops, while loops, and for loops, those are the three main ones in Rust. Each of those, they're different. What differs about them is the way that the programmer tells it to stop looping. Loop loops are the most simple. It just repeats until it sees a break keyword. So the programmer tells it to break. Let's do some of those. Let's do one of those right now. So we're going to put in a loop. When the user puts in the discount %, we want to make sure that they're entering a number. Let me show you this. Because right now, let's try it. We'll say 1. So if we put like 50 and have a typo, Z, it just crashes. Instead of crashing, we want the program to just prompt the user again, be like, okay, you didn't enter a number, try again. So we're going to use a loop to do that. So loop, the keyword for a loop, just a regular loop, is just loop. Then anything in this code is just going to keep repeating until it sees a break keyword. So you can kind of hide the break keyword. You'll see until a specific something or another happens. So first we're gonna just ignore this clear for now. I'll explain that in a minute. Actually, you might know what that is. Did we use it before? No, it looks like not. I'll explain that in a second. Standard in, we've used this. This is just getting that input from the user, reading what the user is entering. We'll put it in the S variable, and we'll put an expect here just to unwrap that. In case there's an error, did not enter a correct string, and most likely on this one there's not going to be an error, so we really don't need to worry about that one too much. There. So S. So this is what we're doing is same as we did. Did we do it? No. Okay. We haven't done this yet. So the user is going to put whatever, the number, the discount % in here. We're going to read it into this S variable. So that's a string at this point, right? It's a string that contains a number. When you do this read line, it actually adds an extra line. So say the user enters 50. Oh, I think we did cover this at some point. I think I remember explaining this. There's going to be an extra line here. So we have to clear that out. Otherwise, the compiler is not going to be able to convert that number from string to a number type. So by trimming by doing this trim function, that removes that extra line. The parse, this is where we convert it, and we're just going to use this format. It's called like fish. I can't remember, something with fish notation or something. But that's just, basically we're just saying parse it into an F64, which is 64-bit floating point. And then we got a handle. So what this parse function does is it returns a result. That result is going to either be an OK with the value that it converted to, or it's going to be an error, just like that, error. And then so if it's OK, we're going to say, this is basically just saying if it's OK, then break. Then we got to put a comma to tell if it's an error, print line, please enter a number. Okay, I think that should be good. So what we're doing is we loop. The first thing we do is we clear out our S variable. We just erase whatever's in there. Then we read in a fresh value from the user. Wait, what are we doing? Where is this gonna? Oh no, this will work. Okay, so because up here we tell the user. I just got this in the wrong place. Sorry. We want this up. Enter discount percent. So we'll just get rid of that. Okay, so this should be good at this point. So let's see. So the first thing we do is we say enter discount percent. If there's anything in this S value, which there is not so far, it's just a blank string, then we clear it. So it'll clear it. It's just going to make, it's just erasing something that's empty at this point. And then we're going to read from the user whatever number they put in. So we're going to, give them the option, the ability to put in the number there, read it into this S variable. So now it's not clear. It's got whatever the user entered, and it's a string. So it's a string value of whatever the user entered. Then we're going to try and convert that string into an F64. If it converts successfully, meaning if the user entered a number, then it's just going to break out of this loop. If the user did not enter a number, then it's going to say, please enter a number, and it's still stuck in the loop because it's not going to see this break. So it's going to go back up, it's going to clear that S, and ask the user to, give the user the ability to enter it again. And so once it breaks out of that loop, then it continues on down. It tells what the discount percent is, and then it actually puts that S into the discount percent variable. So since it knows it can do this now, then we're just going to have it do it then down here. Let's give this a try here. Give it a poll. Okay, looking good so far. We'll say UK. Discount percent. Let's try entering something wrong. Please enter a number. Uh-oh. Let's try something wrong again. D. Okay, see how it just keeps looping? It's just please enter a number. No matter, we can just go on all day like this. And until we give it a number, there we go. Then it breaks out of that loop, and now, okay, we have an 8% discount off of $100, so it should be $92. 92 pounds. There it is. So that's the first kind of loop. So as you can see, it just loops until it gets to some kind of a point where it sees that break, and then it just breaks out of it. It's pretty handy. I mean, that's a pretty good way to make sure the user is putting in the right thing there and not crashing the program. So the next loop we're going to look at is while loops. This just repeats until we give it a condition. So while this condition is true, keep repeating. As soon as that condition is false, it stops repeating. So let's go back up to our country. Now, what we could do is use this loop also for that original price. You have the same kind of handling, but I'm not going to make you sit through that because it's just the same thing that we would have done, that we just did with the discount percent. So, but let's go up to country. We'll use a while loop for this one. we'll say while, that's how you do a while loop, just with the while keyword, while country int, let's declare our country int variable first of all. Right. We're gonna set it to 0 first of all, because you'll see why here in a second. While country int is not equal to 1 and country int is not equal to 2, then we're going to do our code. Now this is another one of those times where I mentioned in the last video where you kind of got to watch out with the conditions, because it's easy to think, logically to think, while country int is not equal to 1 and not equal to 2, you actually have to specify that country int. I've run into so many issues with that. Maybe it's just me, but something you might want to watch out for. So right now it's 0, right? Country int. So since it's 0, this would run, because it's not 1 and it's not 2. Print enter 1 for US, and so okay, then we're going to prompt the user, and then we're going to just clear out these variables, just make sure we're good, because throughout the looping, you know, things can get wonky if we don't keep them cleaned up. So since this is a string, we use clear. Since this is an integer, we just set it to 0. All right, and then let's read in the new value from the user. So just like we did many times before here, we're just going to read it into the country, so it's going to be string, right? And we're going to just do an expect here. Not enter a correct string. Once again, this is an unlikely error to happen, because I don't think you can really enter anything but a string in the terminal, but who knows? We'll handle it. You have to handle it anyway. It makes the compiler happy. And we'll do a little match statement here. Match country.trim.parse. So we're going to say, use our fishy notation. I'll explain this in a second here. All right, so we have, what we're going to do is, remember, we're going to convert this country string that was entered by the user that we read in here, read line. So whatever value they enter goes as a string into country. We're going to trim that to get rid of the extra line. Then we're going to parse it, so convert it into a unsigned 8-bit integer. So we're just going to convert it into a number, basically. If the conversion is successful, then we're going to get, it's going to return OK with the value. If it's unsuccessful, it's going to return error with the error. And we're going to say, if it is OK, here's what we want you to do. We want you to set country int equal to country.trim.parse.unwrap. But if that's not OK, we don't want you to try and convert it again. Instead, we want you to tell the user to get their shit together. Sorry, shouldn't have swore. Enter 1 or 2. Let's try it. Let's try running it. I think it's ready to run. No, it's not. That is not ready at all. Is it because it's capital? No. Oh. It's not a capital W. Try that again. All right, there we go. So if we enter a letter, it should not work. It should just loop, right? Yeah. Please enter. So it's saying, yeah, let me get rid of that. I don't know why I put that in there before. I might have been some testing I was doing or something. Please enter 1 or 2. We can just get rid of this. Just look a little cleaner there. We're just going to cancel that. Okay. Clear. Cargo run. Please enter. So we enter F. It says please enter 1 or 2. Enter 1, and then it just loops back. And we could clean that up, make it look a little nicer, but that gives you the idea. That's a while loop until the user enters. I mean, we could even enter a 4, 3, not letters, whatever. It's just going to keep looping. Oh, okay. So if it's not a number, then it gives this extra. But if it's a number, then but it's still going to just loop either way until we get either 1 or 2. 3, 0, 1. There we go. Okay. What's it doing now? It got a 1. Are we not handling that one? Yeah, we're not. We're clearly not doing something after that. Okay. Oh, I think we need to take this if out now. So, well, that should be okay. And we can comment this out because we got this up here, right? Country int equals country trim. And we don't need that because we've already got that. Yeah, these things are screwing this up. Just get rid of these. I'll just delete them. Okay, I think that should be better. Good, 2. There we go. You chose UK, enter your discount percent. 50%, $1,000, 500 pounds. So, right, we're working. So it only lets the user choose 1 or 2 now. It doesn't let them do anything else. It just keeps looping until they give the right answer. So you got to know the magic password. So the last one we've got is the for loop. That's the most common loop you're going to be using. I don't know, actually. I like these loop loops a lot. It's just so simple. It's easy on the mind. But for loops are they're what you'll see most commonly. For loop just keeps repeating through a collection or a set of values. So often what you're going to have is like an array. We had that discount percent as an array the one time. So it was like, remember there was like, could have been 10, 20, 30%, 40%, 50%. So what the for loop does is you'd say for basically I or whatever, you can use whatever there, which just means iterator in discount. It'd be discount percent. Well, that was the array. So let's say this was let discount percent equal that. So that's an array. So for each in discount percent, basically was what that means, each. We could just say, we could call it each actually for each, but then it's a little weird here because then we're going to say print line discount percent is discount is each. So what that does, and I'm not going to run this obviously because it would just crash things because it's all out of order and stuff. But what this does is it's going to go through each of these. So it's going to go to this one first, 10, and it's going to print 10 because each. So that's the first one, 10. It's going to look at the second value, and it's going to do the same thing for that print discount percent 20. It's going to look at the third value, 30. And once it gets to the end, then it breaks out of the for loop. So that's for loops. What I'm going to do is, I think this video is decently long at this point, so I don't want to go over too much on you guys. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make one more video in this course before the wrap-up video. And in the next video, what we'll do is I want to do a live session with for loops where we use a for loop in our program to print out all the possible kind of common percents to the user. I think that would be fun. And what I'm going to do is just do it live. So meaning I'm not going to plan anything. I don't have anything planned for this yet. I know what the outcome is going to be, but I haven't. So I'm probably going to have to do some Googling. And the idea behind that is to just show you guys what real programming kind of looks like when you're, because it's like throughout this course, I had everything pre-planned, just to keep things smooth and so it's not boring. But I think one live session here at the very end that you can kind of just skip out of it if you want to, because I just showed you what a for loop is. But if you want to, you can watch it. And it'll give you an idea of kind of just the nitty-gritty of programming, I think. So, and I think it'll be fun. So, if you want to watch that, stick around. If not, you can skip that video and go to the conclusion video where we just kind of wrap up and I show you a couple more little neat things with Rust. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something and enjoyed doing this. I like talking about programming, so I'm glad to have somebody watching.